I'm Max.
I'm Gideon, and this is Culinary Headline.
Today we'll be making
Guacamole.
Today we'll be making guacamole, which stands for Great Undeniable Avocado Containers, allowing many outstanding, lovable ingredients.
Alright, so to open up your avocado, you're going to take a knife like this and find the middle of the avocado. Make sure there's no stem at the top. So you're going to cut in, and then just going to rotate the avocado around the knife and make sure it's about halfway. Okay? And when you open it, it should look roughly like this. And then you're going to have the pit, so just take a bigger knife, go in, twist, comes right out. So to get the flesh out of the avocado, we're going to take a spoon. So we're going to have one half of an avocado. I'm just going to separate the flesh from the peel. I'm just going to slowly get that out. Okay. Make sure you don't miss any of it. Okay. Get it into the bowl, scoop out any remains that didn't make it, and then repeat for the rest of the avocados.
Now that we have our avocados into the bowl, we have to mash them. Now you can use either a potato masher or a fork, but I prefer using a fork. Now as you do this, make sure that you're getting rid of any lumps, but you want to leave it sort of chunky. You don't want avocado paste, you want guacamole.
Alright, so for a recipe with 2 avocados, we're going to use a little bit less than a half teaspoon of salt. So make sure you pour it over the bowl so it doesn't get all over your counter. So, okay. So once you have about that, I'm just going to put a little bit back. I got a little bit too much. Just go on and pour that in.
So for 2 avocados, we need to use half of 1 lime. Now just for easier juicing, we're going to cut this half into wedges. And now we're just going to squeeze it over our avocados.
So just so that the guacamole doesn't get too watery, before we add the next ingredients, we're just going to give it a little bit of a mix. Don't worry, it won't become all incorporated at once, but once you mix the whole thing, it'll get all mixed.
The next step is to dice our tomato. First, you have to remove the end that looks like it doesn't belong. You hear that, tomato? You don't belong. Ah, thank God. Now that our tomato has been purified, we can cut it in half and then chop and then dice it. So once you've added the chopped tomato to the avocado, you have to mix it around. And since we live in a wasteful society, we'll only use 1/2 of the tomato.
Alright, so next up is garlic, just so that we can scare off the vampires. So I'm using pre-minced garlic. Feel free to mince your own if you want. So for 2 avocados, we're going to add about a half teaspoon. So just get that, add it in, and then just mix it up with the tomatoes.
Now, in the middle of making guacamole, you want to make sure to get interrupted by your puppy. Sadie! Shoo, this guacamole isn't for you. Okay? Now, everyone knows that dogs are guacamole proof, but that doesn't mean that you can have some. Now, because our guacamole is missing happiness, joy, reason to live, and spice, we're going to add in some spice, which involves a jalapeno. So we're only going to use about 1/4 of it for this amount of avocados. And we're just going to chop our jalapeno, nothing too fancy. Now feel free not to do this if you're okay with eating a bland pile of nothingness. Now we're just going to finely dice it because Jesus Christ, who wants an entire bite of jalapeno? And while you're dicing it, make sure to get jalapeno everywhere.
Alright, next, because what else would you do? You're just gonna add the jalapeno. So just get it all in. Okay. And then just give it a good mix so that you don't have one giant spicy bite, which could kill you.
Now your guacamole is done. If it tastes gross, that's because it is.
Alright, now once you're done, dig in, because you should be ready by now. And enjoy.